Indeed, we are honored that you found time to come to this trade fair, which is the inaugural one after the COVID-19 break. We have not had this for 2 years. And as we observed, our people are yet to fully come back. The International Trade Fair, or what we used to call the Nairobi Show, was one of those things that you would never miss in Nairobi. Your Excellency, I remember getting lost here many times as a child and being severely punished for that. Your Excellency, we need to improve and move with the times. As you see, this is a great facility that we have that is an asset and should not only be used once a week in the year, but should have activities throughout. And for that reason, I want to congratulate the leadership of the ASK for having been able to launch the Expo Center which you have opened. We want to see year-long activities, open it up for us. Your Excellency, I've played rugby in this field. I think they stopped leaving it out for our sports teams. Let us have more activity in this showground so that we can move with the times. People have moved with technology. There are more ways of attracting business. Let's talk about agriculture in an urban scope. I'm very glad that you've been able to see, Your Excellency, contrary to what many people think, that Nairobi City County has agriculture. In fact, Nairobi City County government conducts more than 15,000 extension visits a year, more than most counties. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, if you go to Kasarani constituency in Ruai, you will find agriculture going on. If you go to Roysambu constituency, if you go to Dagoretti South, Waithaka, Udhiru, Mutuini, we have a lot of agriculture. But when it comes to allocating resources from the national government that supports counties, Nairobi is always left behind. I had mentioned to you, and I want to thank you for the interventions that you're making to the drought-stricken counties. But when you're making those interventions to the drought-stricken counties because of the issue of famine, I would humbly ask that you remember Nairobi County, because we are at the end of the food chain. Your Excellency, when there is no food across the country, there is no food in Nairobi. And urban poverty bites harder sometimes than rural poverty. When somebody does not have food in Nairobi or money, they will not eat, they will not have a place to sleep. In the rural area, sometimes your neighbor will give you gorogoro ya mahindi. Back in Western, even the fence inakuwa ni mboga. But in Nairobi, it is very difficult. So we'd like to ask you that you think of interventions that can also support our people in our informal areas. You have seen the kind of agriculture we're doing. You have seen urban farming, using hydroponics, where we're going vertical. And Your Excellency, this is an area that my government in Nairobi will be willing to, we're going to support and support fully. Our speak to that. You have seen the Nairobi water and earthy water work stand. We have a shortfall of around 300 million liters of water a day. If you support the work that they're doing, we should be able to get another 140 million liters of water by the end of next year, because of many places in our county have not been able to access that. Your Excellency, you have also been able to see the other stands that are exhibiting more than just Nairobi to look at. With those very many remarks, let me take this opportunity to welcome Your Excellency, the Deputy.
Here to represent President William Ruto, who had graciously accepted to be with you today. But because of exigencies of duty, he was unable to come. He asked me to come and represent him. You are aware that we are facing a serious problem with the drought, and he needs to have a hands-on approach. And he is busy with our development partners, trying to marshal and harness resources to make sure that no Kenyan dies from starvation. And the situation we are facing in the country of possible starvation arising from drought is relevant to what brings us here today agriculture and food production, which is something we really want to put a lot of effort. So if you allow me, I'll read his remarks as he would have communicated to all those who are here today and the nation. The Governor of Nairobi County, members of Parliament, ESK National Chairperson, Madam Annabel Krienya, Nairobi International of Transforming Agriculture and Economy to provide better quality of life for our citizens. The theme underscores our government's commitment to promoting innovation and technology for the growth of the agricultural sector as an enabler for economic transformation and sustainability. This trade fair, therefore, affords us the opportunity to showcase modern technologies that are useful to making Kenya's agricultural sector globally competitive. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently facing unprecedented high food prices, occasioned both by internal and external factors. The government is alive to the high cost of living, steady increase translate to export of jobs to the countries of origin. As a country, we have an opportunity to invest in with our annual production for major food crops, notably maize, beans, wheat, and rice, falling way short of our national demand and consumption, pointing to reliance on food imports. Agriculture is the engine that drives Kenya's economic and industrial development, particularly in food production, income generation, and provision of raw materials for manufacturing. The government is committed to achieving sustainable economy. Agriculture has the potential to lift many people out of poverty that continues to afflict the majority of the rural population and place millions more firmly on the path to greater wealth. On the consumption side, reduced food prices can result in substantial saving for majority of Kenyan households. Strategic interventions in agriculture, therefore, hold the key to unlocking the tremendous promise of rapid growth in wealth generally and incomes in particular, achieved simultaneously working capital to enable farmers purchase of food prices and subsequently cost of living can be achieved at the same time as of our economy. 2/3 of Kenyans derive their income from agriculture. Increasing income to farmers translates to many of our people having more income, which they can spend and spur even more economic growth. Therefore, undoubtedly spur growth of the manufacturing. It is against this background that one of our first pronouncements during the inauguration was to lower fertilizer prices from the current 6,500 to Kenya shillings 3,500 per 50 kg bag. To demonstrate this commitment, we have since rolled out the fertilizer subsidy program that has already made available 1.4 million bags to food production systems in the country, as evidenced by frequent floods and drought. To respond to this and build production resilience, the government initiated and is supporting and promoting various adaptive programs. To cushion our farmers from adversities of climate change, the government has committed Kenya shillings 3 billion to implement. To date, the project has covered 1.3 million farmers. Further, the government will support, with the support from the World Bank, is implementing the Climate Smart Agricultural Project in 24 counties of our 5-year period with the objective of increasing agricultural productivity and building resilience to climate change risk in the targeted smallholder farming and pastoral communities in Kenya, and in the event of an eligible crisis or emergency, to provide immediate and effective response. A total of Kenya shillings 27.9 billion is available for this program. Besides supporting community-led projects and mitigating against natural calamity-induced losses, the project also focuses on flooding. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I once again thank the government of Nairobi, exhibitors, and all other stakeholders who contributed towards making this trade fair a success. It is now my pleasure to declare the 2022 ASK Nairobi International Trade Fair officially open. God bless you, and God bless Kenya. I just want to add only 2 things. One, to confirm to all those present today, and indeed the people of Kenya, that our new administration has focused on agriculture and trade as the most effective tools to turn around the economy and restore the dignity of our people and create wealth and make farmers to have dignity in what they do for a living. Secondly, we want to ask all those in the agricultural sector to be ready to pull up their socks so that they can work together with our government and the county governments to increase productivity as we look for new markets. I want to confirm that we are going to have a paradigm shift in our foreign policy. All the ambassadors and the high commissioners who will be appointed by this new administration to serve in the various missions across the globe, 70% of their work will be to look for new markets for our agricultural produce while expanding the existing markets. Indeed, we have agreed that all the ambassadors and high commissioners who will be appointed will sign an MOU with us for 2 years on what we expect them to do in terms of enlarging markets and creating new markets. Those who are unable to deliver will be recalled back home to come and start farming with the other farmers here. I also want to confirm to our farmers in the tea subsector that the government will not allow anybody to destabilize the reforms and the stability that is going on in the tea subsector. The attempt by former directors to forcibly take over factories and the KTDA headquarters is a height of impunity, and the government will not allow impunity. We must allow the directors who are in office to continue executing their mandate and continue instituting reforms in the tea subsector and looking for market to make sure that our tea farmers get value for money. Finally, because the gentlemen of the press are here, you have had a habit over the campaign period to always twist what we say in public to suit your own needs for whatever purpose. We want to tell the press the campaign is over. Report us objectively. When I was in Baringo, I did announce to the people of Kenya that we have a serious program on afforestation. There is a lot of land within the forest reserve that has been earmarked for tree planting, and we are going to mobilize farmers in this old spirit to assist us to plant new trees in those areas that have no trees and take care of them as they farm until the trees are of age, and then the forest can continue growing. So when you twist it, that we have said we are going to bring the farmers to come and farm in the forest. That is in bad taste. What we are doing is afforestation to add our forest cover. So all those areas, virgin land within the forest reserve, there will be a very, very serious program of afforestation, and will mobilize farmers near the gazetted reserves to partner with us to start a very serious program of afforestation to be able to enhance our water catchment areas and to be able to deal with the effects of climate change. So I hope you'll be able now to put that one clearly. But if you want to twist it, you can still go ahead, there's no problem. I want to say that we are very happy to be here, and I want to, in a very special way, to thank the police band for the very good entertainment. You know, we have just come from a rigorous campaign. We have never had time to enjoy. So for the few minutes we were listening to Lingala music and all that, we are very excited. And you know, even after the serious campaign, we have come and found an economy that is limping. And we have a lot of work to do. So any one time we get an opportunity to while away and enjoy our rich music, we are also very grateful. So with those very many remarks, I want to say asanteni sana na Mungu